taký ten kockovatý hranatý. Ja milujem tie iPady, pretože je to fakt, že jedinečný zážitok z používania tabletu alebo počítača tabletu. Je to naozaj niečo proste iné. Nedá sa to k ničomu nejak extra porovnať, ani k Surfaceom, ani k ničomu inému. Je to strašne špecifické. A ja preto chcem, aby to bolo čo najlepšie, obzvlášť keď to stojí toľko peňazí. A ono to vo svojej podstate najlepšie aj je, lebo je to jedinečné. Nevieš povedať, čo je lepšie ako toto, lebo to nemáš k čomu moc porovnať. To je ten problém. No Dušan, Samsung má tablety a toto majú, jasne majú, ale neviem, či by som si strúfol na Samsung tablete otvoriť si Final Cut a proste v ňom strihať a spoliehať sa na to, že to videjko bude v poriadku. Vieš čo myslím? Ono totiž to iPad je primárne tablet s nejakými desktopovými funkciami, ale napríklad tablety s Windowsom mi skôr prídu ako kompy, čo sa snažia tváriť ako tablet. Vieš, tak to už si radšej rovno kúpim notebook Windowsový a mám pokoj. Nejde o to, že keď ja urobím toto a proste si to takto zoberiem, tak seamlessly niečo robím. Toto dorobím, toto tunak zacvaknem, plestiem to tunak a bez hociakého čakania je to späť vďaka tým trom pinom na tom chrbte a na nič nečakám, pokračujem bez hociakého premýšľania. Ten M4 procesor, aj M1, aj S18, pokiaľ si to pamätám, možno keď sám. Na tých starších iPadoch boli strašne plynulé a ten zážitok z toho tabletu bol neskutočný. A to stále platí. Len mi príde, že toto už dokáže o dosť viacej a my sa k tomu nemáme jak dostať, kým to Apple neukáže, že jak, alebo neodomkne nám to nejako tým softverom. Podpora myšky a nový trackpad na tom Magic Keyboarde sú tiež strašne super. Sice ja nie som veľký fanúšik toho, ako sa ten kurzor na všetko lepí a niekedy sa nelepí tam, kde chcem, odvzdášť na tom strihám a neviem čo všetko, ale je to použiteľné a na moje prekvapenie je to aj praktické, čo som nečakal, že na iPade by som povedal. Adam mi posielal jeden tweet, že vraj sa ten tablet trase, pokiaľ dáš nahlas hudbu, to vibráciou po stole začne sa proste teraz, tak to chcem rovno tu takto vyskúšať, lebo som to ešte nevyskúšal, tak dáme niečo basové. Ja keby som osobne vedel, čo viem teraz o tejto veci, ale nerecenzoval by som videjka, tak úplne v pohode M1 a kľudne aj ten predošlý iPad Pro sú za mňa stále skvelé. Tá 2018 verzia má stále 120 Hz displej, stále má fluidné používanie aplikácií, ak dobre viem. Ale pokiaľ chcete byť taký, že future proofs, tak tento je skvelý. No preto ja som sa rozhodol, hošia hošky, jednému z vás tento môj M1 256 GB aj so smartfónom aj s Apple Pencilom darovať. Ale hošia hošky, nebude to len tak zadarmo. Chcem od vás, aby ste išli na discord.gg/duklok. Je tam rúmka o iPad súťaži a do tejto rúmky chcem od vás vidieť nejaký druh fanartu, môže to byť kresba, môže to byť malba, môže to byť vyrezané do dreva, môže to byť vytesané do skaly. Chcem jednoducho vidieť to, že pokiaľ niekto z vás vyhrá tento tablet, tak ho dokáže využiť na niečo kreatívne. Takže dajte odber, aby ste nezmeškali ďalšie videjko a možno aj ďalšiu takúto súťaž a držím palce každému z vás. Ja sa idem rozplakať nad tým, že som do tohto fakt vylial toľko peňazí.
On TikTok, you can convince anyone to do anything, and you don't even have to really try that hard. Right now, there's a man on TikTok fighting the good fight to try and convince people that urine is basically the cure to every ailment on the planet.
Now, this therapy is not right for everyone. It's very esoteric, and it takes a Jedi mind trick to get over your conditioning, your industrial age school system, your propaganda programming, etc.
This is urine therapy. I really love how therapy's lost all meaning and weight. You can kind of just slap that word on anything and people just believe in it off rip. I wouldn't be surprised if they start preaching about deep fried therapy on TikTok, where you go and jump into a deep fat fryer in order to give yourself like a golden crispy body armor, and it's supposed to like open your pores and make you immune to bullets or something ridiculous. But the evil programming that he's talking about here, that you have to Jedi mind trick Men in Black neuralizer out of your brain, is the common sense knowledge most people have to not drink piss, and certainly not use urine as a sunscreen, and definitely not using pee-pee as an anti-balding agent. It's not exactly propaganda programming that he's preaching it as. It's literally like common sense. It's pretty much basic human instinct.
Particular situation right here, this is aged urine. This is about 6 months, maybe a little bit longer, give or take. It's got that nice brown tint to it.
A vintage brew. Exquisite taste. No doubt fermented in an oak barrel while Mozart played in the facility while this was festering. So, it's got the nice brown tint to it that everyone loves their pee to look like. And he's very excited. This is a delicacy to this guy. The fucking urine utopia here. He's got everything he could ever need. A nice 6-month-old piss jar.
And then, of course, oof, gnarly. Smells like ammonia. I don't always drink this, but the research that I've shown is it's good for parasites, it's good for your gut microbiome. It's gnarly, so it's going to have that element of power.
I don't always drink this, but when I do, I end up projectile vomiting into my toilet, and that's proof to me that it's detoxing my body and deparasiting me, obviously. The research I've read, none of which I cite and none of which actually exists with any real merit to it, all says that drinking piss is 2 thumbs way up. So I do it. Daily. I can't help but giggle at that belief that if something is so turbo shitty, it must actually be good for you. This is so gnarly, thus it has that element of power to it. No, goofball, you're drinking piss. The only power that has is to leave stains in a gas station toilet seat. That's it. It's not doing anything for you. Just because it's gross and gnarly doesn't mean that it's somehow carrying these, secret benefits underneath all of the garbage. That's not how that works at all. And he keeps talking about it being like an ancient therapy. I will never understand why people want to go back to the ancient ways. People barely made it to adulthood back 5,000 years ago. Most people were dropping dead by 12 years old. It's not like the ancient civilizations had it figured out. Like, their techniques were the best ones. People live longer now and healthier now than they ever were back then. So I don't know why all of a sudden we're putting so much stock in the ancient ways.
So typically, I use it topically. It's excellent for energy in the sun, boosts my testosterone. I just feel it in my muscles. It really gives me a lot of clarity and energy. But I have it open, and we're talking about it, so of course, we can drink a little bit and see what happens. the first thing that we get is it's very gnarly smelling. However, once it goes on your skin, when you get some sunlight on it, I like to ride my bike.
A great swig indeed. The exquisite flavor of pee. Scrumptious piss. Now, to be fair, it's probably not that much worse than just drinking a Miller Lite, but the thing is, at least Miller Lite's not preaching all of these ridiculous health benefits that he's about to drone on about, all of which are a bunch of fucking hooey, and then he starts lecturing about how he uses his 6-month-old piss as a lotion, like basically a sunscreen, and how it like helps make his muscles feel better, and he gets like a pump out of it, and all kinds of just nonsense gobbledygook.
Put it on my body, either lay out here at the pool, or put it on my body and go out for a ride on my bike, even when it's 110, 115 degrees out here. I mean, I know how powerful this is for me. It's not the greatest tasting delicacy on the planet, but it's kind of like eating oysters or uni, sea urchin. I know it's good for me. It's loaded with minerals.
It's not good for you. Like, that's something that's reserved for a life or death situation where you need piss to survive. This isn't something that you just wake up and do as part of your daily morning routine. That is so outrageous. He just really thinks for some reason it's good for him because he let his fucking pee sit in a jar for 6 months and now is drinking it and using it as sunscreen. Now, he doesn't need to age his urine. He is fine just pissing and drinking it every morning like fresh urine, right from the source, you know, ethically sourced pee from his cock. He's fine doing that. It's not necessarily the aging that he thinks makes it good for him. He just really thinks drinking urine and using urine in a variety of different ways is just like the best thing for you. Inexplicably. It's so ridiculous. And he talks about how he like puts it on his body and then goes for like a bike ride. My heart breaks for any unfortunate souls that happen to just be walking down the sidewalk when this guy rides by on his bike. I can't even imagine the smell. That must be unfathomable. Like having your senses assaulted by 15 dump trucks all unleashing that Methodist right to your nose. Like you could probably smell this guy coming from a mile away, wearing 6-month-old dried piss as a cologne as he's on his bike ride, his morning commute. Like that scene in SpongeBob with like taking the stink with him. It's crazy how awful that must be.
Cell salts, amino acids, stem cells, antigens, antibodies. But the way I like to use it ultimately is topically. So you put a little bit in your hand there, and then you just rub it on your skin. A little bit in your hand there, and then you just rub it on your skin. And so once it's out in the sun for a little while, it mixes with your own pheromones, and it smells like perfume.
I highly fucking doubt that. I imagine you just smell like piss. Look, the logic there makes no sense. He even opens that jar and says that it smells gnarly. So how would you take something that smells gnarly, put it on your body, and then all of a sudden it magically turns into something that's like perfume? That's the whimsy of urine therapy, I suppose, the magical mystique of it. He throws out a lot of buzzwords about the benefits that urine has with the antigens and the stem cells and all of that. And I decided to look into it. There's like some research about some of the stuff that is in urine, but none of it recommends ever consuming it or using it on your body in any way because at the end of the day, it's waste. It's literally just your body's waste. Yeah, it has some shit in it that is like, if you're dumb, like an actual Neanderthal brain, sounds like it's gonna be good, like stem cells, but what you don't realize is it's not like you drinking that urine is somehow like blasting your whole body with stem cells from piss.
It's a little musky, if you will. And so this is what gives me excellent color. And I don't always practice this, but when I do, it makes me feel great. So I took some time to create some jars earlier last year. So you're getting it on his legs. I like to get it in where my lymph nodes are. So in the creases of my elbows, behind my knees, on my ankles, where the sun hits me the most, my shoulders.
Now, of course, he's not the only enthusiast of PP. There is an entire community of urine therapy cultists that swear by it. Like, they love this. Like, they really think they're becoming superhumans, beating every possible ailment ever just through piss. It's like the ultimate panacea to them. But that raises an important question. Why not poop? Why is it only reserved for urine? Why doesn't this extend to the butthole as well? Why is this guy not a shit-eating specialist? Why isn't he preaching the gospel about the hidden benefits of feces consumption? I'll tell you why. It's because they're all cowards. When you drink piss, you're not usually going to make yourself super sick from it or anything, so it's a little safer. But when you eat shit, you can make yourself sick. So they're just afraid. If you want my respect, you'll start eating poop as well. So this guy says he gets up most mornings and drinks some pee. Well, how about you drink that pee and wash that pee down with some poop? Then I'll be impressed. You tell me when this guy starts using poop as a sunscreen. Like, it's probably even better than urine in that respect. It's a little thicker so you can get like a nice, good lather on it. Yeah, then I'll say maybe this guy's onto something. This whole fucking thing is so ridiculous. Like, it's so ridiculous that you can just make an argument for actually anything and have people believe it. Even drinking their own piss and using it as sunscreen.
I know people that wash their hair with it. They